Hello, fellow preppers and adventurers. This is David, and you're watching the Preparedness Therapist. Today is our book review is going to be on Outdoor Survival Handbook for Kids. Willie White Feather. This is a picture of Willie playing the Native American flute. He's an honorary chief of the Black Creek Cherokee. He says. He wrote this book because he realized that most of the survival books back in the 1990s and prior to that are for adults. So he wrote this for children. It's an easy to read book. There's a lot of pictures in here, a lot of drawings. Let me just open this and go through this a little bit. I think there's some very timeless material in here, and so even though it was published in the 1990s, it's really beneficial today too. So make sure we're in the picture there. Talks about how to not get lost, but if you do get lost, how to find your way around. Talks about how to protect yourself. Cody, those of you who've read Cody Lundine's books know that he's got that book on if your core body temperature declines, then you're dying. And so 98.6 degrees. That's something that Willie talks about in here too, is the body heat and making shelter, snow cave and wind pit. Attitude there, and talks about being in the rainstorm and lightning. He also talks about desert survival, which is something I think is really beneficial. One of the things that I like is he talks about getting food in the wild, and he goes through the tests that we're aware of in wilderness survival, that you just nibble on it and wait and see what happens, and then you take a little bit more. You rub it on your skin, and anyway, he goes through this step test with how to find out if food is going to be beneficial for you or not. And of course, I always say that you watch and see if animals eat on it. It talks about going potty. He talks a lot about the ethics of being in the wilderness from a Native American perspective, where we honor and respect nature. So that's something I really appreciate him doing. Nature is there for us to use, but it's also there for us to respect and continue to make it so that others can use it as well. It talks a little bit about first aid. Also, how to make a fire. He talks about bow drill fires. Now, adults struggle making bow drill, and there's some information in here on children making the bow drill fire, and I think it's really fun to read. This would have to be part of a discussion with a group led by adults or even a parent and child, and having somebody who's already made a bow drill fire is so very helpful. Talks about finding your way, using the stars. He also has a section on talking sticks there that's an interesting sort of diversion from the wilderness survival type thing, but more of a heritage section there. One of the things that I really appreciate when he talks about what to carry is, let me see if I can find this, carrying a whistle. He encourages some of these things to be taken with kids when they go out in the wilderness. And in my estimation, the whistle is probably the most important thing that can be taken, because if kids get lost, or if they get turned around, if they get hurt and concussed and they can't, or for some reason they can't yell, they can maybe hopefully have enough air to blow a whistle. This is a book that I'd recommend. Mine's beat up. It's used. I got it used. I like buying used books because it gives an old book new life, and so that's what I appreciate about that. I'd encourage you to go on and look for it. I'd encourage you to share this channel with your friends, family. The more of us who are prepared, the better it's going to be. So yeah, and as parents, take this book and read it with your children, grandchildren. Take them out to nature. Enjoy the stress relief that you get from walking around in the woods. Thanks for watching, and like and subscribe and encourage others to do it. And keep on prepping.